Welcome to Fortune Cookies Tarot. This is Two for Tuesday. So you're going to get two videos today, and we are going to be talking about the York sisters plus some haunted objects related with both of them. So stick around. I'm going to see you in just a second. Welcome to Fortune Cookies Tarot. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner and psychic for over 35 years. In this video, we are going to be talking about some royals. I know I do royals and scandals on Thursdays, but there's a new viewer who said, do you only read on Harry and Meghan, or do you read on the other royals? And I said, I certainly do read on the other royals. And I think that the York sisters, their time has come. I think we do need to discuss them a little bit. But we're also going to talk about haunted objects or energy rich objects that can affect our well-being. So sit right back, buckle up. First, we're going to see how Princess Beatrice is doing and how she is going to affect this newfangled royal family that is coming up with Prince William rising to the occasion. We all know he is going to introduce a little bit of a different royalty, British royal family to all of us. But let's get into it. And before I do that, and before I bring up the card view, I want to invite all of you to take advantage of the sales that I have going on for the remainder of the summer. I am having a tremendous sale on 1 hour readings. I'm having a tremendous sale on the WhatsApp and text message readings. I also have a remote view this weekend coming up on Lizzie Borden. If you guys want to get in on that, that is off YouTube. That's where I have you do a guided meditation, and you're actually going to be walking around that crime scene, and then we get to talk about it after. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours long, so it's a fun way to spend Friday afternoon, evening. But I also have your pay what you can reading. So I had a lot of emails from people that said, oh, I just don't have the budget for it. So I created a half-hour reading where we get together, we do a reading, and then at the end of it, you pay what you can. So it's a way to reach out to some more of you. So as we head into this reading, you can link to that below. But hit the like button. I'm bringing up that card view right now, guys. So there we go, boys and girls. There we go. And there goes my card view. Let me bring this over and make it nice and big for you. So royal weddings are magical. And a lot of the time they do carry some hints from the past, the adage of something old, something blue for brides. Princess Beatrice knocked it out of the park by wearing not only something old, but something borrowed from her grandmother. So she borrowed a beautiful, beautiful dress. So the dress that she wore, let me just get... It was the Norman Hartel gown. It was first worn in the 1960s for state occasions. So we're going to talk about how wearing that dress infused her and her marriage with some really good spirits. So it may have infused Beatrice with some of the magic that was the late, great Queen Elizabeth. So I'm going to try and keep all of my videos spooky theme for the spooky season now through Halloween. So let's see. Just do a check-in on her. And I am using the Phantasm Tarot. Phantasm? Not like the movie. How's she doing? Current state. Public life. Personal life. So here's her private life. Temperance. The Sun. Oh, and the Hermit in reverse. I wonder if we're going to get another baby. She may be up to something with that. So, put a pin in that because this something is going to be announced. Something interesting. How is she doing public life? Chariot in reverse. Not doing as many things as she would like. And Seven of Pentacles, they're looking at where she was the most impactful and not impactful. So Chariot in reverse, Seven of Pentacles in reverse, and the Magician. So they're looking at the powers that be at where she was impactful and where she was not impactful. So that is going to be really cool. In the end, I think they're going to find that she does have a little of that gold dust from Nanny Lilybet. I don't know if they called her Nanny Lilybet. So, potential rise in royal influence. What are we seeing here? Do we see a potential rise? Seven of Wands, Ace of Cups, Three of Wands. What is the problem here? Why are the courtiers so hesitant? They are hesitant because of her father. They don't want to put her out there. They think that it's going to be very disruptive. What can those courtiers do? Courtiers, what can they do to correct that? Because I do think she looks so much more like her mom. Four of Cups, sit down on it. Eight of Cups, Five of Swords, Four of Wands. If they focus, those courtiers, if they focus on the good personal life that she has right now, I do think that she becomes a better asset for them. Um, she's not going anywhere. It's almost like she's wasted space if they don't take advantage of what she can bring in. There's something about that fiery red hair that people want to come into. There's something about that. So, while some people think, a ginger is Prince Charles famously said, "Oh, and it's a ginger," when it came to Harry. He was Prince Charles at the time. But I do think that she is an asset. And I think that if they lean into her good family life and her good relationship, I think she becomes more of an asset. So, hidden challenge is definitely her father. A hidden asset is definitely her red hair. So, I think we will see more of her. I think they are going to figure out how to get her in there. So, will her role change? What does William think? What does William think about changing Beatrice's role? What does William think about that? Five of Cups. She's wasted. She's wasted not doing anything with her. He has a lot of ideas for her for the future. And I don't think it's like they're not going to start enlisting her after Prince Andrew has gone to the great beyond. So we've got Five of Cups, the Star, Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and Seven of Cups. I do think if Prince Andrew stays quiet, stays in his lane, I think we have a better chance of lifting those daughters up. He's got to think about his own progeny and not his own legacy. I think we're much better off promoting them. The scandal with him is never going to go away. We know that. But I think if he just sits down and gets a little bit quiet, I think he is in a much, much better place. And I think the girls wind up in a much, much better place, especially Beatrice. Beatrice. Yes, we're reading on Beatrice. Sorry, guys. I tripped myself up here. So let's talk a little bit about the wedding dress. So Beatrice, she's always been a very supportive background royal. Her wedding was July 2020, smack dab in the high point of the pandemic. Prince Philip, Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip were in attendance along with her immediate family members. She was the only royal bride in modern times to have a very low profile wedding like this with the monarch present. The photographs were beautiful. The alterations that they did to the dress were absolutely beautiful. So, while this typically is not a haunted object, I do want to be talking about haunted objects and the energy that objects can carry. We just heard what is her name? Danny Lynn, um, Anna Nicole Smith's daughter, Danny Lynn Burkhead. She said she wore a dress of her mother's to the Kentucky Derby this year, and she said it's like getting a hug from my mom. It's the only way I can get a hug from my mom. So, wearing a piece of jewelry, wearing an object from a family member is a way to communicate with them. It's a way to have some of that energy. I have some of my grandfather's old books. I love having them. I also have his St. Joseph statue in my living room. And I am so glad that no one else in my family wanted it because I wanted it very much. So it's a little worse for the wearer, but it does serve as a touchstone of sorts. So Beatrice wore the Queen Elizabeth II Norman Hartnell dress. It was first worn in the 1960s. I said that earlier. Wedding dresses, heirlooms like this sometimes are passed down through generations. This was not a wedding dress for the Queen. But it certainly was transformed into a wedding dress. And why wouldn't it be? It's a fabulous dress. But it can carry ancestral energies. It can carry emotional imprints, family karma, and protective spirits. So we do things like that. Braiding of the hair is one of the things that some cultures will do to weave spells and protective spells, things like that. So did the wedding dress infuse Beatrice's wedding and marriage with blessings from the Queen? Let's see what we get. See what we get. The Hangman in reverse, the Knight of Pentacles, Hermit, Page of Wands in reverse, Page of Swords, and the Eight of Cups. So one of the things I do want to point out is when Queen Elizabeth married Prince Philip, she was forced, because it was World War II, again, trying times for her wedding and trying times for Beatrice's wedding with the pandemic. The Queen was forced to save up rationing coupons to make her dress. She did play the politics, and I'm sorry, I'm not being rude, but she could have very easily gone and gotten a dress, she was the queen after all. Or no, she was the princess at the time. I'm sorry, beg your pardon. She was not queen at the time. But she was the would-be monarch. So at any given time, she could have done that, but she had played politics correctly, endearing herself to the British public by going through trials and tribulations that they did as well. She also famously stayed in London during, I believe, the Blitz, and that was at the Queen Mother made that call. They were going to stay together rather than send them up to Scotland or Northern England or something like that, where they could go into a wardrobe and find Narnia. That was the whole point of the Narnia books. Just a little fun there. So I think that the Queen understood getting married in the face of world adversity. And I don't mean that the world was against Beatrice and Edo getting married, but that the alignments just weren't there. So when we are posed with an impractical situation, we rise to the occasion with our wits and our good thinking. And this, not only did the dress seep into our Beatrice some of the strength and the experience of Queen Elizabeth, but it also keep in mind this, if this dress was built for state occasions, she has met other people, there's other energy that's going into this. The queen would not have handed over this dress had it not seen many a happy situation. One of the things that Greg and I do for weddings or showers or things like that, um, engagement parties and bridal showers specifically, we give cast iron and we give a cutting board. Cutting boards are sacred in Japanese culture, much like your marriage. You should take very good care of it. We give the cast iron because cast iron pans will get better the more delicious things you cook in them. So if you make a mistake, you can scrub it out. You can kind of start all over again and re-season it. But if you are putting good things into it and you're making good things with it, the pan gets better and better. I speak from experience. I have a ton of cast iron upstairs. So I almost exclusively cook in cast iron. So I think this dress was a very similar thing for the late queen. I think the late queen had had many a good experience in this dress, many a good state occasion in this dress, and wanted to hand that over to her beloved granddaughter. Why wouldn't she be beloved? That cute thing. And I think this infused Beatrice with the courage, Eight of Cups, the courage to make good of bad situations, the theme of still creating a happy union, still creating a wedding out of the pandemic, because their wedding was planned before that. They had to make changes as a result of everything being shut down. The concessions that were made still allowed for the Queen and Prince Philip to attend. So I think in the face of adversity, in the face of the whole world is working against you, you still can have a beautiful bride. You can still have a beautiful wedding. You can still have a beautiful marriage. Out of the craggiest soils can rise the resilient rose. And I think that that is what we saw with our dear Beatrice here. And I do think that this particular dress should carry her and possibly her future children into great relationships and great times. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that. So if you love exploring hidden energies around people and objects, you can book a reading with me or remote view. I now am offering remote views, guided remote views for you guys. So if you want to look into an object that maybe is a family heirloom, we can look at the history behind that. We can do that through a remote view or through some psychometry, which is really fun too. We'll be talking about that in weeks to come. Don't forget, this weekend, Greg and I are going to be talking about the Hope Diamond on Supernat Saturday. And we're going to have a second video today for Eugenie. I like Beatrice. I don't know how I feel about Eugenie, but we'll see how she's doing and what haunted object is possibly affecting her future. So stick around for that. As always, I hope you guys had a great time with this. Please like, share, and subscribe. Ask questions down below if you want to see more spooky stuff, more hidden objects and things like, or haunted objects, not hidden objects, haunted objects. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you would like to get your own intentional object, please remember that I still have my ambassadorship with Otter Spirit. It is an intentional jewelry company. They have earrings, bracelets, necklaces, everything you could possibly want. You can shop by intention. You can shop by your sun sign. You can also shop the monthly collections that they put up. Their monthly collections are absolutely amazing. I am wearing today the creativity pack that was sent. This is my birthday present from them, and I absolutely love it. I'm a big fan of moonstone, and there's a moonstone bracelet in here. So it was such the right pick. So you can save 20% off with my code down below, Fortune20, and I would love to see some of you guys get a kick out of some intentional jewelry and have your own haunted object or intentional object. So we'll see you soon. Keep an eye out for video 2, where we talk about Eugenie, and I will see you guys in the future.